Hey, what are you making?
Well, I'm not sure. We've got eggs. What sounds good?
Well, we could make fried eggs or scrambled.
Yeah, or we could make egg salad or pancakes or an omelet or a cake or French toast.
Wow, you can make a lot with eggs. I wonder where all these eggs come from.
Chickens? I know what you mean. It must take a lot to get eggs to the store.
Well, let's go to an egg farm and find out how it's done.
This is an egg farm in Indiana. It's one of the largest egg producers in the state. There are 1,600,000 chickens on this farm.
Like all egg farms, this one has only female chickens, called hens. The male is called a rooster. The rooster might be good at getting you up in the morning, but only hens lay eggs.
There are many different kinds of chickens, like Australorp, Sussex, and Cornish. Many chickens like the Sussex and Cornish lay brown eggs.
If the hen has white feathers and earlobes, she'll lay a white egg. If she has brown or red feathers and red earlobes, then she'll lay brown eggs.
The hens at this farm are all Leghorn chickens, and they lay white eggs. They get their name from the city where they originated, Leghorn, Italy.
Before we can go in and take the tour, we have to put on these special outfits. This helps to prevent the spread of germs from us to the chickens. This is called biosecurity.
They keep access to the birds restricted so they can stay healthy. They don't want anyone giving the birds a cold.
This is where it all begins. We're in one of the laying houses.
This building is 460 feet long and houses 286,000 chickens. I wonder if they all have names.
The hens are kept in these special coops. This provides them shelter and keeps them safe from other animals and from unnatural predators, like cars.
To keep the hens healthy and happy, this whole building is computer controlled to maintain just the right temperature and humidity.
A computer also controls the feeding. This feeder is on rails and automatically gives out the right amount of feed to all the chickens.
The feed is specially made by this company. It's a mixture of corn, soybean meal, salt, vitamins, and calcium.
Why add calcium to the feed? The outside or shell of an egg is made of calcium. If the hens weren't getting enough calcium in their diet, the eggshells would be thin and weak and could easily break.
The hens are weighed every week to make sure they're healthy and getting enough to eat.
So the hens are happy, healthy, and well fed. When do they lay their eggs?
Have you ever seen a movie or TV show where they go out to the barn in the morning and collect the eggs? Hens like to lay their eggs in the morning, starting as soon as it gets light out. In fact, hens won't lay eggs if it's dark.
Here in the laying house, most of the hens lay their eggs between 7 and 11 o'clock in the morning. Each hen lays almost one egg a day.
What do you mean, almost an egg a day? Do they lay half an egg every other day?
No. Each hen lays an average of 8 eggs every 10 days. So that's not quite an egg a day, but pretty close. Within 20 minutes of laying an egg, the hen starts working on laying another.
When the hen lays an egg, it drops down to a conveyor. This carries the eggs to the end of the row, past an egg counter. Then, the eggs are transferred to other conveyors, which carry the eggs to the processing area. Before we go to processing, let's find out more about eggs. Eggs look very simple, but there's actually a lot of different components to an egg. As we mentioned, the hard shell is made up of calcium and accounts for about 10% of the total weight of an egg.
Eggshells are not actually solid. There are about 17,000 tiny pores all over the egg to allow moisture out and air in.
When you look inside an egg, you can see the yolk. The yolk makes up about 33% of the total weight of an egg. The color of the yolk depends on what the hen eats. If they eat yellow corn, like the hens at this farm, then the yolk will be yellow. If the hen was eating white corn, the yolk would be almost colorless.
Okay, so if the shell makes up about 10% of the weight, and the yolk makes up about 33%. That's 43%. So, what makes up the rest of the weight? The egg white, or albumin, makes up most of an egg's weight. The albumin is the thick liquid that surrounds the yolk. About a half of an egg's protein is in the albumin. It's easy to see when the egg is cooked because it turns white. Do you know what makes a brown egg different from a white egg? Its color. Everything else is the same as a white egg.
Did you know there are different grades of eggs? Most of the eggs you'll find at the store are grade A, but there are other grades too, like grade AA and grade B. The yolk, albumin, and air cell of an egg are used to determine the grade of an egg.
Here's a grade A and a grade B egg. See how the yolk is taller than the grade B? And how the albumin of the grade B egg is thinner than the grade A?
There's a little pocket of air in each egg, called the air cell. The size of this air cell is used for grading too. The smaller the air cell, the fresher the egg. The air cell increases as the egg ages, but not by much. It would take 2 months for a refrigerated egg's air cell to go from a grade A to a grade B.
There's another grading scale for eggs based on weight. The largest are jumbo, then extra large, large, medium, and small. Extra large, large, and medium are the most common because that's what most of the hens lay. Most recipes are based on large grade A eggs. Now that you know more about eggs, you have a better understanding of what happens here in the processing area.
First, the egg needs to be washed.
Woo! That takes a lot of work if we have to do all these eggs.
That would take forever. Good thing they have a special washing machine.
They have a machine?
This egg washing machine does 2 things. It rotates the eggs so they're all in the same position for the rest of the processing, and it washes them with a special solution of water and soap. This will clean and sanitize the eggs.
The solution is hot, about 106 degrees. This is about 20 degrees warmer than the hottest egg temperature. So what's the temperature of a hot egg? Yep, about 86 degrees.
To make sure the eggs are clean, they then go through this machine called a dirt detector. To have someone looking at each egg for tiny specks of dirt would take someone, well, a very long time. This machine uses cameras to look at the eggs and a computer to analyze what the cameras are seeing. 16 different cameras take 8 photos of each egg to make sure it's clean. Don't forget to smile. Any eggs that don't pass the test get sent back to the washer.
Clean is good, but clean and broken doesn't quite cut it. This machine is a crack detector and checks each egg for cracks by using sound. Tiny probes flick out and tap the egg to make a sound. High-pitched taps that ring or last a while means the egg is good. Lower, short taps mean the egg is cracked.
Each egg is tapped 16 times in a matter of seconds.
Remember the different grades of egg, like grade A and grade B? They need to know what's inside the egg to grade it. They could crack open each egg, then stuff it all back into the shell, but that would be messy.
Have you ever held an egg up to a light? You can see inside. A long time ago, they used to do this with a candle. So this process is called candling. Here they use a candling machine, which shines very bright lights at the egg so you can see inside. This way, they can check the yolk and see any cracks, and they can see the size of the air cell so they know what grade it is.
Once the egg is graded, it's time to measure the rest of the egg. This sensor measures the weight of the egg. Remember the different types of egg, like jumbo and extra large? There's not much difference in the weight between all the different types, so it's important to get a very accurate weight reading. This machine weighs each egg 63 times and does it in under a second.
These machines have to work fast because they have so many eggs to grade. This machine can handle 2 million eggs a day.
Eggs that you buy at a supermarket often have a USDA stamp on the carton. USDA stands for the United States Department of Agriculture, and the stamp means that the eggs meet their strict guidelines for quality. In fact, there's a USDA employee right here at the factory. They take samples of the eggs off the line and check them for leaks, cracks, and dirt, and make sure they meet the standards of grading and size.
Once the eggs pass the inspection and grading process, they're ready to be packed.
There are different packaging lines for the different types of eggs. Eggs in cartons, like these grade A large, get packed by robotic arms that can load 150 boxes an hour. The cracked and broken eggs have their own line too. Those eggs are further processed into pasteurized liquid eggs,
which are used by restaurants and food service businesses for cooking and preparation.
The rest of the eggs get sorted to fill orders for the grocery stores. The eggs from this factory go to several different places, so they have different cartons for different stores.
The expiration date for the eggs is burned into the carton with a laser. The expiration date is 28 days after the eggs have been graded.
Once the eggs have been packaged, they need to be refrigerated. Eggs, like milk or meat, need to be refrigerated to prevent spoilage, and it helps them last longer. An egg will age more in 1 day at room temperature than in 1 week at a refrigerated temperature. That is, under 45 degrees. Even though the expiration date is 28 days after grading, a refrigerated egg will last for months.
The eggs are then stored in this refrigerated warehouse until they're ready to be shipped to the store. It usually takes an egg 3 days from when it's laid to make it to the warehouse, and they might stay here for another 2 days. It takes trucks about 1 day to get the eggs to the store. Add that all up, and it takes about 6 days for an egg to go from the hen to your home.
They load about 8 semi-trucks a day here at this factory. Each carton holds a dozen, or 12 eggs. Each truck can hold about 24,000 cartons. So how many eggs are in each truck? That's right, about 288,000 eggs per truck. And they load about 8 trucks a day. So that would be... Wow, that's 2,304,000 eggs a day.
That's a lot of eggs. The eggs from this farm are shipped to stores within Indiana and to neighboring states like Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, and Kentucky.
The United States produces about 75 billion eggs a year. The U.S. is the second largest producer of eggs. Can you guess who the largest might be?
China is the world's largest producer of eggs, about 350 billion eggs a year. Japan is third on the list, with about 50 billion annually, and Russia is fourth, producing about 35 billion eggs a year.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was excellent. Quite extraordinary. Very exciting.
Midwest Poultry Services is a family-owned agricultural business operating continuously in North Manchester, Indiana since 1875. They employ over 300 people in the Midwest. In several facilities, they have 6 million hens in production with annual capacity of approximately 120 million dozen eggs. These eggs are distributed in stores throughout the U.S. Midwest Poultry Services is proud to support PBS 39 in promoting education in our area.